Ben Davison, subscribe to Stephen Icons.
The unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, has said that he would rather have a face-to-face with both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, rather than do everything over on social media and shouting across the pond. And basically, he's kind of had enough of all the verbal attacks from both Wilder and Tyson Fury. And he says that it's been going on for long enough now, and as much as he wants to bite back, he has to hold himself back at times. And of course, what he's meaning is, obviously, he was in camp for Joseph Parker, and one thing he's not going to be doing is engaging in conversations with people who he's not fighting next, as in Wilder and Fury. So he's concentrating on the job at hand, but these guys keep on wanting some kind of retaliation from him. Well, I say that they want him. Tyson Fury, I don't think he's too bothered, but we know for a fact that Wilder has been begging for some attention from Anthony Joshua. I mean, most notably, it kind of proved it, really. I mean, we've been saying it for a good couple of months, that every time Deontay Wilder speaks, he talks about Anthony Joshua. And he's always wanting a retaliation, and he keeps on asking, why is it that he's not mentioning my name? And even his fans are doing it as well. Why is Anthony Joshua not mentioning my name? Well, it's very, very simple. He's concentrating on Joseph Parker, right? And when he finally did, after he defeated Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder was like, you know, something along the lines of, thank God you actually spoke my name. So it's like those kind of words, which is a little bit girly, I think. It really is. Begging for attention. I mean, Tyson Fury will talk smack about anybody. It's not necessarily Anthony Joshua. That's just the character that Tyson Fury is. He likes to create rivalry. And to be honest, we kind of need the likes of Tyson Fury in the game, because with people like Anthony Joshua, who's very laid back, and of course he can bite back, but he tries not to. Whereas with Tyson Fury, he will sell the fight. He really, really will sell the fight. He will get in Joshua's face. He will trash talk him on social media. He will trash talk him to his face. Whereas Deontay Wilder, you know, he had the perfect opportunity to come on over for the Joshua Parker fight, but opted to stay at home in Alabama or wherever it was that he was at. So he had the perfect opportunity, but he decided not to, because he wasn't given a 100% guarantee he can get in the ring. Now, bearing in mind, Joshua wasn't guaranteed to beat Parker, right? There's no guarantees. And the fact that it wasn't a fact that Anthony Joshua said, you cannot come to the ring. It's a case of, you come into the ring when I tell you you come into the ring. You don't just come in like a bull in a china shop and just walk yourself into the ring. It don't work that way. This is my ring. I own this ring. And whoever comes in this ring, I will allow you. So we all know, though, okay, we know Joshua. He's not one to be biting back on social media. He does do it from time to time when he's pretty much had enough. And then suddenly when he does it, he then becomes the bad guy, right? So he tends to sit back. Whereas Wilder will constantly come out on social media and belittle him and insult him. You know, Juicy J, he accused him of being on steroids. He said that Parker won the fight and the fight was fixed and the judges and the referee was in the pocket of Anthony Joshua. The whole of UK are naturally racist, because this is where racism started, allegedly. Well, if it was, then America sure did perfect it and tried to hold on to it for as long as they possibly could, right? Now, he was doing so many things, you know, calling Eddie Hearn Anthony Joshua's slave master, or his white slave master, milking Joshua, and all these kind of things. And Joshua, he just stood back. Now, I don't know if he heard everything. I imagine he probably would have. But he's not one to bite back, purely because he had a fight with Parker, and people don't understand that. When you've got a fight coming up next, guess what? You concentrate fully on that opponent, because you can't afford a slip-up. You really can't. It nearly happened with Wilder, when Wilder was talking about Joshua, all the way through when he was supposed to fight Luis Ortiz the first time, and then ended up fighting Bermane Stiverne. Luckily for him, it was Bermane Stiverne, right? And that was a walking potato sack with dreadlocks. You know, he's got hit, and that was it. With Luis Ortiz, again, when they arranged the rematch, again, he's just talking about Joshua all the way through. He's not talking about Luis Ortiz. He's talking about Joshua. And in the fight, it nearly bit him on the backside. And he needed the referee and the medical team to save him, really. He did at the end of round 7 or beginning of round 8 even. So this is why Joshua doesn't smack talk about other fighters. He gets on with his business, the one that is actually happening. And now it kind of gets to a point where they can negotiate between Wilder and Joshua. And guess what? It was Joshua who reached out to Wilder, not the other way around. You Wilder fans need to remember that. Okay, he reached out to Deontay Wilder to arrange the fight. But what's Wilder done? He's gone very, very quiet. And why is that? Because Joshua doesn't have a fight pending next. There's a very real opportunity now where Wilder has backed himself into a corner and he has no choice but to come out and fight now. But of course now he's making it difficult, whereas it wasn't about money before, but now suddenly it is. Remember, it's not about money, it's about legacy. We don't care about the money. He even went on the Boxing Voice and a few other shows and radio stations and said that. Why do people keep counting my pockets? It's not about the money. I've done well for money. I don't care about the money. Well, clearly you do, which is why you wanted Joshua. I said this from the very beginning. That's the only reason that you want Joshua. You don't feel comfortable beating Joshua. So you're then pricing yourself out, or you leave a little bit of the window open so Joshua has to pay you way, way, way more than what you're worth. Even just doubling your payday of 2.1 million to 4 or 5 million is too much. But Joshua's going to have to pay to get that green belt. That's what he's going to have to do. But even then, 12.5 million is not enough, apparently. So clearly it is about money. So he lied, is what he's done. He's been lying. But either way, I think all the trash talk that Wilder and Fury has been doing is kind of coming to a head now. And Joshua was saying, I want a face-to-face. Wilder had the opportunity to come for a face-to-face and he didn't do it because he's very much an internet warrior, is what he is, a social media warrior. You know, he will make video after video calling out Joshua while he's in America, but wouldn't dare come to the UK and get in his face and do it. Now, of course, he probably will. If they sign the contract, then he's going to have no choice to save face, but to pretend that he's not scared and try and get in Joshua's face. And you watch how Joshua handles him. Very, very easy. Tyson Fury is a totally different kettle of fish. Tyson Fury, you can trash talk Tyson Fury for all you want. It's like water off a duck's back. He doesn't care. He loves that kind of thing, you know. And it's not for attention. He just likes the beef, you know. And he doesn't dislike Joshua. It's an act. A lot of it's just an act. You know, we know this. These guys go back, way back when. It was Tyson Fury. He was the one who originally said that when Joshua was in the amateurs before the Olympics, he said that Anthony Joshua will dominate this division. He will become king of the heavyweights. He is the one to watch. And look, everything that's happening, Tyson Fury predicted it. But yet people who support Joshua, a lot of people who support Joshua hate Tyson Fury. People who support Tyson Fury hate Anthony Joshua. I don't understand this rivalry amongst the fans. For me, I'm very, very neutral. I support both, yes, because they're British. Okay, I don't put skin tone or religious beliefs or anything like that in the way. It's purely two British fighters, so I support them both equally. Now, hopefully, we get to see Wilder and Joshua, and Wilder doesn't price himself out. And of course, his fans are already with the excuses to back him up should he pull out, even though he said it's about legacy, not money, right? And he gave all these kind of excuses, and now they're talking about percentages when they said, we don't want to talk about money, we just want to see the best fight the best. And now if Wilder pulls out, they're going to give him all the excuses because of the percentages, right? Listen, that is what it is. But for me, if Deontay Wilder is any kind of man, he will sign that contract. Because it's way, way, way more than he's ever going to get. He talked about 50-0 or 51-0. So he's got, what, 10, 11 fights to get there. And if he doesn't fight Joshua, he can go fight Dominic Brazil. He can go fight whoever. And accumulatively, across those 10, 11 fights, he will not make as much money as what he would right now against Joshua. Because his 2.1 million highest payday against Luis Ortiz, he will not get that kind of money again. He will go back to the 900 grand, to the 1.5 million. Because Showtime have had enough of him. They want to see him in the big fights and don't particularly want to be seeing him against Dominic Brazil or whoever else it may be. His usual set of opponents outside Luis Ortiz, right? But that's what it is. And as I said, if you notice how Deontay Wilder, if he's not feeling sorry for himself because Joshua is not giving him attention, now he is giving him attention, it's gone as quiet as a dormouse. Drop your thoughts below as to what do you make of the antics that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are permanently giving Anthony Joshua almost on a daily basis. Until now, of course, that Anthony Joshua has approached Deontay Wilder and has offered him a contract, not the other way around. But yet people say Joshua's ducking him. Don't get that point at all. Don't get it whatsoever. But if people think that they are, then maybe Wilder should call his bluff. Accept the deal. Can't get out of the fight then, can he? But he's not ducking. We know that much. Tyson Fury, as we know, he's going to have to wait for a while. He's got a couple of tune-up fights to get out of the way. Obviously a long layoff, and he's had to shed a whole lot of weight as well, so he needs to get back into the swing of things. So of course, whoever he's going to fight is whoever he's going to fight, right? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. So anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.